Good evening, Mount Pleasant. We want to thank everybody for being here tonight and whatever you've had to put up with today to get here. Maybe you was under a mean boss man, or maybe you had two squalling young'uns, or a lovely wife, Perry. A lovely wife, Perry. Or maybe you was out in this rain all day. Could have been talking to you, Don. I just happened to be looking at Perry. We got a prayer list tonight so long I had to make a few notes. Joey Allen's mother, Patricia, she's still down. Ricky Bowen, brother of Connie Yelton. Melissa Lyles' mother, Susie. Y'all know who she is. She'd sat back there some. Her and Jerry come. They've took her to the hospice house last night. She's real low. So if you run out of things to pray for, definitely pray for that family. And that's Melissa and Eric's people. Remember her husband, Jerry. He was right by her side last night. It would do something to you just to see that. Carol Walker, friend of Diane Lauder. She's battling cancer. Bob Marshall, I think he had surgery today on the knee, maybe. Is that right? Anybody know anything about that? Infection. Mike Hutchins. Anybody know who Mike is? Right. His daddy was Garland Hutchins. I knew him well. He's went out of town, and somehow or another, it's something along the lines of leukemia. And I think he's in Knoxville, maybe. He's a long way from home. So on top of being sick, he's not at home. Mike. Yeah, Garland's been dead a long time. But anyway, Mike's in terrible shape. I talked to a boy last night, and he told me all the whole story about it. I knew he'd sick, but wasn't sure of the details. Richie Allen, y'all know who he is. That's Suzanne's boy. Mojo, he is the man of the hour. He's back on his duties, and they've cut him loose from the hospital. He's going to have him a whole handful of medicines from here on, probably. So y'all pray for Mojo, and he keeps him medicines in him. Big Mike's still recovering. Carolyn and Larry. Now, y'all fix to start therapy, is that right? Y'all can have couples therapy. Yeah. Well, y'all can have couples therapy together. Remember my daddy, he went today for what kind of test did he have, Susan? MRI. Hopefully we learned something from that. The Indian mission trip, that's coming fast. How long? So soon, real soon. Blaine's passport. Mo knows a guy. Melissa can testify to that. Well, you're okay. Mo knows a guy. That's why I mentioned him a while ago. That's how important he is, okay? Preacher's family. Y'all all know that situation. Y'all know that baby was born. Some of you may not, but I'm assuming everybody does. That baby was born. Named her Emerson. Beautiful baby. I want to thank everybody in this church for how you came and loved on the preacher and his family. That speaks volumes about Mount Pleasant. If there's any talk about this whole situation, be talking to God. If it's on your cell phone, I promise you're not talking to God about it, okay? I ain't going to say no more about that when we move on. All the shut-ins, there's a long list of them. We've been trying to see some of these people. Some of these people were you 10 years ago. 10 years ago, 10 more years, we may be visiting some of y'all in there, and I may be one of them. I don't know. But there's a long list of them. Helen Harris, Don and Lucille Bridges, Kenny Coffey and his wife, Bob and Rachel Davis, Yvonne Green, Valerie Harrell. I think she's the oldest member of our church. Just lives 4 houses from here. Angela Lovelace. She's held every young'un in this building that's 20 years old. She used to be in the nursery every Sunday. Joyce Mitchum, that's Lisa Early's mama. There's a long list of these people. If you don't know who some of them are, if you get 10 minutes on your lunch break, go see some of these people. Who is your sister? Ellen Linder. But there's a lot of these people could use a visit if you get time. And I promise you, God will bless you more than it blesses the folks you went to see. I have found that out. Sometimes you go sit down with an old person in the rest home and you ain't got a clue what to say. But just the fact that you're there. That's right. Sometimes you just sit there and listen. Anybody got another name that needs to be mentioned tonight? Somebody we've overlooked? Karen Hall? Carolyn Hall. Hmm? Oh my goodness. Don't know who that lady was. Dot Hyde. And that's the lady that got run over? Remember that family. Anybody else before we pray? Absolutely. Absolutely. Preacher's been telling us that since he come here. Pray and pray one for another. I don't know that there's been a day he stood in here he didn't tell us that. If the devil's going to do something, he's going to do it where something's going on. He ain't going to bother some of these churches because there ain't nothing going on there. So if there's a little trouble, it's cause God's doing something the devil can't stand it, okay? The book says that the devil is I forget the word, but he's creeping around seeking who he may devour. That's what the book says. So the devil's definitely wanting to do something here because God's here. Anybody else before we pray? The Roach family. Remember that family. Susie's still struggling.